Guys, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel, Sugar Acid Darling. Thank you guys so much for clicking once again. If you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. And to all my OGs, you know what to do. Comment down below, let me know, gang. Now, UK is in the news once again. If you're new or you've probably been living under the rock, you do not know, UK has been pulling the strings on their immigration policy. That was since last year, even entering into this brand new year 2024. They started first by stopping the dependent visas for those that are probably coming into UK to study. That caused a lot of turmoil. They've been doing tackling care workers. They also came out with an announcement concerning grades at some point. Like I always say, Elizabeth's triplets have had enough of immigration. They are now at their capacity. Nobody should see this as, how would I say, like a bad thing, so to speak, because these countries, when they needed people, the floodgates were open, and right now they are trying to put their citizens first, which is understandable. But this is where the kick is. The way the things are going, many people are going to be affected. The way you respond to being affected is going to determine how you succeed further down, because being sent home, maybe for failure to meet up with your fees or payment for your visa or one thing or the other, is not the final thing. It's not the final judgment on your life. That's one thing I want to lead with, okay? So I'm getting this news directly from the government of the UK, and they published it just May 23rd. The title of it is New Measures to Tackle Student Visa Abuse. When I did the video concerning MD's deportation, that was, like I said, it was allegedly from somebody's news. A lot of the deportation is on the way. This is no longer news. A lot of people have heard it. People have talked about it. YouTubers are talking about it. I had to go back to check from their main website to get this particular information. There are people that could not meet up with their fees anymore. And this is not them just lying. As at the time I was paying my first fees to Canada, that was last year. When I was paying the first one, was it last 2 years that I paid the first batch? It was like 460. By the time I was paying my second term fees, it was like 7 something. Almost towards by early this year, it got to 1,200. So imagine people paying pounds, and you know pounds is way higher. So even those that came with money, they probably thought that they would be able to meet up, but exchange rates messed a lot of people up. So that was one of the main reasons why people had to drop out from school, pursue job, find other ways. No, because of the way the UK visa system works, for some of them, they had to send the proof of fund to the school. It's the school that now gives you the CAS or something that you use to get your visa. So that's kind of like our attestation letter. So the bulk of the, or how would I put it, the scrutiny is on the school to make sure that whoever is coming in can pay their fees. So right now, what the schools are doing, they are submitting the names of the people that are faulting on the fees and faulting on all those things to the Home Office to further investigate if they need to be sent out of the UK because they did not meet up with fees, and as a result, they've not met up with one semester of classes, or right now they can no longer meet up with their classes, and they've submitted these names. That's why there's going to be like a mass deportation, so to speak, on the way. Now, I have one question because I did a video most recently about the Prince Edward Island protesters. And I'm asking, I know that right now in the UK, tensions are high. People are doing the Israel-Palestine protest. And you may be tempted at some point to do a protest in the favor of, okay, what are they going to do as students concerning this mass deportation and all of that. I want to also add this thing. The UK government, like every other government, has the right to withdraw visa. There's a particular protester, I think a Palestinian lady, final year law student, she went to join protest, became the face of the protest. They have revoked her visa. Final year law. Don't let your village people hold you. It's not the end of the world. Do all you can to make sure that you meet up with the fees or make sure you meet up with whatever balance thing. But then when you know that at the end of the day, there's nothing else you can do, please do not exhaust yourself to the point where coming to Nigeria will mean you will not even have money to buy food. Like you have finished everything that you have totally. No, that won't be nice. Be wise and know when to say, okay, you know what? I live to fight another day. UK is not like putting you on exile or something. Like the way people see it, I get it. It can be a lot, especially knowing that for those that have sold their properties and the rest, where would they go to from here? The shame, the this. Nigerians are naturally proud people. So please, first of all, I needed to put that out there. UK has commenced visa cancellation for people that engage in violent protests. So just in case your university or people in your school are saying, "No, let's go and protest," advise yourself. All right, so I'm going to be reading this out, this news. I'll try as much as possible to read it as fast as possible because it is very important, and this is concerning the deportations that people have been talking about, but this is directly from them. It says new measures to tackle student visa abuse. New proposals will further crack down on student visas, ensuring only genuine students can come to the UK. The route will be kept under review. The Home Office, the Home Secretary and Education Minister have announced new proposals to ensure UK's world-leading higher education system is used for education, not as a gateway to immigration, with options to go further remaining under consideration. This will deliver on the commitment to lower overall levels of migration while maintaining UK's leading status as a world-class destination for higher education and attracting the brightest and best of international students. It comes as the latest statistics published by the ONS show net migration has dropped by 10% since 2022. These figures do not take into account changes made by the government, which are expected to bring migration down further. The latest figures since the changes came into effect show a 25% drop in visa applications. The Office for Budget Responsibility has previously forecast the net migration will halve from its 2022 peak in the next 12 months. The proposals would regulate the recruitment of international students, cracking down on rogue recruitment agents who encourage people to apply to British universities by mandating universities to sign up to a stringent framework for agents. Okay. Tougher compliance standards for institutions recruiting students from overseas will be introduced. Those who accept international students who then fail to pass our visa checks, enroll or complete their courses will risk losing their sponsor license. Financial maintenance requirements will be raised. So international students will have to prove their financial self-sufficiency. The government is already reviewing English language assessments with the objective of standardizing independent assessments, ensuring all international students are equipped with the skill to understand their course materials, or they shouldn't expect a place at a UK university. Restrictions on remote delivery will also ensure all overseas students are predominantly undertaking face-to-face courses. Home Secretary James Cleverly said, "We have taken decisive and necessary action to deliver the largest cut in legal migration in our country's history. Applications are already falling sharply, down by almost a quarter on key routes in the first 4 months of this year compared to last. With the full impact of our package still to be seen. But we must go further to make sure our immigration routes aren't abused. That's why we are cracking down on rogue international agents and building on work across governments to ensure international students are here to study, not to work." Education Secretary Gillan Keegan said, "I am proud that British universities have a fantastic reputation, both home and abroad, and it is a testament to the quality of education they offer. So many people aspire to study in this country. It is right that we strike the balance between controlling immigration and making sure the UK remains the go-to place for students around the world, supporting our brilliant universities and enabling the best and brightest to study here. The reforms form a part of the government's overall plan to cut legal migration, which would mean 300,000 who arrived last year would be unable to do so under the new rules. These measures, which come into force in the first few months of the year, are already having an impact on the migration levels, with the latest monthly statistics published yesterday showing The applications across key routes affected by the changes fell by 25% in the first 4 months of 2024 compared to the same period last year. To protect the integrity and quality of UK higher education sector and ensure it is in the country's best interest, the Home Secretary commissioned the Migration Advisory Committee, MAC, to conduct a rapid review of the graduate visa. The MAC warned that rogue recruitment agents pose a threat to the integrity of our immigration system, with poor practices exploiting students and graduate visa holders, missold UK higher education. Since migrants on the student route transition directly to graduate route, immediate action is necessary. The government also remains concerned that the route is not attracting the highest earners who contribute to our economy. After analysis from HMRC and the Home Office showed that more than a quarter of the graduate visa holders were not found to be in payee employment at any point during the financial year ending 2023, and of those that were, the majority, 63%, were not in payee employment for the full year. The UK world leading, sorry, I'm going to summarize everything, don't worry. The UK world leading universities rightly attract some of the best and brightest around the world. Why are they repeating some of these statements? And the government remains committed to the international education strategy, which recognizes the important benefits of international students bring to the UK, including the economic benefits. Taken together, the Home Secretary's package to reduce legal migration would mean approximately 300,000 people who arrived last year will no longer be able to do so. The following measures are already in place: increasing the salary threshold for skilled worker visas by 48% to £38,700. They've already done that. Restricting care workers from bringing dependents with them, and requiring care providers acting as sponsors in England to register with the industry regulator, the Care Quality Commission, CQC, to crack down on worker exploitation and abuse within the sector. Number 3, abolishing the shortage occupation list and replacing it with a new immigration salary list, with employers no longer able to pay migrants less than UK workers in shortage occupations. Number 4, raising the minimum income requirement for family visa to reach the level of skilled worker visa, currently to £38,700 by early 2025. Delivery of this comprehensive series of measures comes as the government cracks down on rising migration, both legally and illegally, and reforms the immigration system. We have worked successfully with international partners and clamped down on criminal gangs and stepped up enforcement. The Safety of Rwanda Act was passed in April, and the treaty with Rwanda has been ratified. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. A lot to unpack directly from the UK government. One thing I want to advise you cannot be in a country and you will not be reading directly from their website. I know that most of us as content creators come from time to time and we try to make this news like shortened. Sometimes people will be like, what is your source? Now I'm reading directly from your government website. The first thing I want to say is, if you're going to Jackpa right now, UK, cancel it from your mind. The UK boom is over. The UK boom is over. You don't want to come into a system when they are testing how to drive people out, because you might fall into it. It's the tension, the place is tight. Let's not lie. Right now, it's a bit tougher. So I'm going to be summarizing some of the things he said here. First of all, the ones that we already know are the ones that he has done concerning, of course, I've done a video where the Prime Minister was talking about the drop in applications. They were happy about it. People told them to also release their revenue, which they did not. So people are challenging the fact that, of course, UK must have lost money, but they didn't release their revenues. But however, one thing they mentioned is they are going to be cracking down on rogue recruitment agents. If you want to go to UK and you're planning to use an agent, Right now, understand that UK has set up a committee and they are going after agents. So if you're actually somebody that you're an agent, quote unquote, or you deliver all this agency kind of advice, be very, very careful. If any of your words are used as a way of telling people to come into UK to find how to, leave their school and find a way into the system, it might have consequences. Okay, so cracking down on that. The second point was mandating universities to sign a stringent framework. So universities right now cannot just work with every agent. There has to be a stringent framework whereby these universities are working with these agents. So not anybody can represent any school. That is also a good one. It can also help the students because you know that whoever passes all those tests is a qualified agent. Okay, so that's for the institutions recruiting abroad. And then they now put a catch. Those that accept international students, you as a school, remember I said in the earlier part of this video that the UK system is such that the onus is on the school to go through everything and give the student a CAS that they now bring to the visa office. So what they are saying is that those that have accepted these international students and these international students now then fail at the visa side, if they fail to pass our visa checks and enroll or complete their courses, they will risk, these agencies or the institutions will risk, I think the agencies, they will risk their losing their sponsor license. Let me read that paragraph again. It says, tougher compliance standards for institutions recruiting students from overseas. So those are these agency institutions that recruit students from overseas. They will be introduced. Those who accept international students who then fail to pass our visa checks, enroll or complete their courses would risk losing their sponsor license. So even though the person passes visa check, if you come to school and you forget, you decide not to enroll and run and jackpot, your agent that brought you will risk their visa, their sponsor license. If you enter, you enroll, and then even if you could not raise the money, you cannot complete your course, the agent that recruited you might lose their license. It's getting tougher. I won't lie to you. When I say UK boom is over, this is a fresh update. May 23rd, this was when it was released. The next one they also said is they are going to raise maintenance requirements. I don't know what the current one is, but they say they are going to raise it. International students will have to prove their financial self-sufficiency. Very important for you to note. That's why I said if you're entering UK now or planning to enter as a way to probably jackpot or to gain status, I do not think you should be missing out on any of this information so that you can properly cross your T's and dot your I's and think if you have enough money, first of all, if you're in a course that is good, if you have enough overall such that when you're done with school and you enter the graduate visa, you can sponsor yourself without coughing. That's when you should be thinking UK. You have enough patience. You have all the virtues of the spirit. Because their method is not straightforward. It's not like Canada. I kid you not. So that's also another thing. The government is also, the next point, they're also reviewing English language assessments. Those of us in Nigeria, congrats to you. But we have international students from India, Philippines and other places. They want to now increase it because you cannot come to school. Canada also had that problem because at some point they reduced English requirements and we had students that could not understand the lecturer. First, if you don't understand English, those of us that even understand English, we are finding it hard to understand some certain accents. And then you don't even understand English, talk more of understanding the accents. How would you even start understanding your course, so to speak? So what they are saying is they have to review that to ensure that international students are equipped with the skills to understand their course material, or they shouldn't expect a place in a UK university. They are not giving you plan B. If you do not pass that English test, you're not getting admission. Things are getting tougher. And this thing, I'm not giving you fan news. It's recent. Another one, there's going to be restriction on remote delivery. So your courses have to be face-to-face. Online course so that you can be picking shifts, co-work. So predominantly, you will undertake face-to-face courses. So probably there might be marks on attendance or whatever. I don't know how he's going to be doing this. But that was the main ones he said he's focusing on. And he also puts in his speech, that's the Home Secretary, that they are actually, this is not even all. that he has outlined, but they have seen a lot of results from this first unveiling their initial policies. They have a lot more policies that are going to be coming up within the course of this year, so that they will work on that. Their 300,000 that they got last year, they are not getting that this year. So they have also set up MAC, which is the Migration Advisory Committee, to conduct a rapid review on graduate visa. When you get your study visa, that was the easiest part, Seth, because right now graduate visa is the one that a lot of people are on. You're either on the graduate visa or you're looking for a way to get on it and all of that. So right now what they're saying is that the MAC, which is the Migration Advisory Committee that they set up, has warned that the rogue recruitment agents are posing a threat on their immigration system, and with poor practices they are exploiting student and graduate visa holders, and they have missold the UK higher education system. So now there are people that are actually, yes, there are people that come in, maybe the visa agents, you know, some of these agencies, the university is giving you free, and then you're charging and overcharging, and then you're selling it to them like, oh, when you study, after a while, you just study. As you get your graduate visa, you get a job, you apply for your indefinite stay, and then 5 years later, you get your citizenship. Like, they explain it as if it's just like that. It is not. UK is complex. It is complex, and you can see the ease with which they can wake up and change the entire thing. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. So another concern that the government raised is that last year, even though they brought so many people, many of those were not in payee. You know, government like tax. They found out that more than a quarter of graduate visa holders were not found in payee employment at any time during the financial year ending of 2023, and that those, the majority, 63%, were not in the payee employment for the full year. So probably they didn't get a good job on time, or they didn't get a job on time, or maybe they started their own payee, like they started paying tax from September. So now they are looking at it like, what then is the value of the graduate visa if most of the people that are getting it did not pay taxes, they were not on the payee? So that's also a concern, that the route is not attracting the highest earners that will contribute to the economy. So most likely they might be shifting gears to specific courses. Listen, they might be shifting gears to specific courses because they are saying that this route, just throwing a big basket and saying, okay, if you do all your visa like this, you will get it. What if your course is not in demand, and that course is not something that can get a good job that will bring big tax for them? This is business. Guys, let me know your thoughts. So they outlined this particular part there. You can see it. I would put the stuff up. So the next one also is, of course, the benefits and the measures they are putting in place. They talked about, of course, increasing the salary threshold. I've done a video about that. Restricting care workers from bringing their dependents. I've done a video about that, because the truth is, at some point, people that were giving COS, sponsorship to care workers, were exploiting them. They will come in, they will pay them way less. They can't do anything because they are tied to that company. They will sometimes maltreat them and all of that. So the government also said that that all the sponsors right now have to register with an industry regulator, and this will crack down on worker exploitation and abuse. So sometimes these laws might seem like, oh, it will not favor you. No, listen well. Sometimes it's in your favor. Do you understand? Okay, so another one is to abolish the shortage occupation list and replace it with a new immigration salary list. So they are now, with this one, employers can no longer pay migrants less. I know that you don't mind. As if I see £5 work, I will do. If I see this, I will do. The truth is, what they're saying is they don't want employers to say, okay, if I need to pay a citizen 10, let me find migrants, I'll pay 5. As much as in the long run it favors the migrants, it doesn't favor the citizens. So like every other country right now, the Elizabeth triplets, everybody is pushing citizens first. Election is coming. So the next one, the last one that he wrote here for his bullet points, was raising the minimum income requirement for family visa to reach the level of skilled worker visa. So this is the one that has been affected. This is the one that has been affecting a couple of families, where they have raised the minimum income requirement for the family, which is currently at £38,700. So that's what your joint money as a family you should be making. Another point they raise is, of course, in summary of all of this, that the delivery of these measures comes as the government is cracking down on rising migration, both legal and illegal. They are cracking down on it. Even though you enter here legally, they want to be sure that they get to a point where they can cancel it if they feel like at this point you cannot meet the next step. Okay, and also they also put the last sentence is a funny sentence, because they said the safety of Rwanda Act was passed in April. Remember that people have been saying that for those that are running to do asylum, UK have entered into partnership with Rwanda. So unless you want to go and land in Rwanda, please rethink your UK journey and be sure that you understand everything that is expected of you before you travel. Do not go to any country if you cannot read. Do not go to, I'm repeating this thing so that you not enter a country and you're surprised and you're annoyed and you're frustrated. Nobody told me this, nobody told me that. Do not spend money and go anywhere if you do not have the patience to read. If you do not have the patience to research, do not spend. It doesn't make any sense. That's all I can say. Like, reading this thing alone, if I have a friend, I'm not even thinking UK normal, but I don't know. It won't be my first 5. If I'm going to advise you right now, it won't be my first 5. If you want to go and school, not a problem. If you're thinking of UK, Scotland is not bad. Go school, find a very nice off the grid place. If you can get good job there, fine. Make sure that you're working in a job that they are looking for, so that to find work will not be hard for you. All of these countries have specific roles that always need filling, be it in healthcare, be it in construction or whatever, early childhood education, whatever it is. Research before you go there. Look before you leap. The UK boom might be over. For some people, is just getting started. And if you know that you can survive even with everything that I've listed here, you have your documents ready, make sure that you prepare financially. The economy is too unstable for you to be in a foreign land and you're depressed because you can't pay your bills. You're staying in a house without heat, without warm water, without anything, shivering under blanket and all of that. I get that people say, oh, it's for a while. Sometimes it's just a result of poor planning. Do not allow poor planning to force you to be in places where you are not prepared to stay, just elongating your suffering for no reason. And for those that may need to go back, I have done several videos, I've said this several times, I want to encourage you. It is not the end of the world. Better for you to go back with your head high, with a few pounds still left in your pocket, than for you to get to the bottom, such that even the person that will pick you from the airport, you don't have what to pay them. It is not wisdom. It is not, if you have the faith and you say, oh, God told me that I should finish all my money, it's not a problem. Me, I don't know what to tell you, but I would advise that if you look at things, one of the best lines I got in the university back then was from my philosophy class. I think it's philosophy. Socrates, I think one of these philosophers that said, man, know thyself, for an unexamined life is not worth living. If you cannot examine your life and say, realistically, I cannot survive in this place. Looking at this money that is coming in and looking at the expense I have, realistically, it is not going to work for now. Go back, arrange yourself, regroup. Think you can even come back to another country, save again. Some of you are already like sometimes I think of the amount of money I've spent on rent and I'm like, God, if not that, even me that I'm even working. I'm like, people doing it in Nigeria. This kind of money is cow. This kind of money is this and all of that. Please and please and please. I know for those of you, and I always appeal to those in Nigeria, when you see people that have come back and all of that, there's no need to laugh at them. After all, there was a period in UK where people that went to school had to leave the country the same week or 2 weeks after their course. It happened, the period of that lady, Theresa May. Some of them, I have a friend that they literally had to tell her to take a picture of where she is to confirm that she's in Nigeria, to confirm that she has left the shores of UK. It was that bad. Like, you finish, thank you for your money, and they run. The moment they saw that Canada was packing all the students and they needed money, that's when they opened their door. Right now, they have closed it back. Don't worry, if you are patient, in the next few years they will need more again. They will open their door again. But for me right now, like I said in the beginning of this video, the UK boom is over. Let us sit back, let us count our costs, let us regroup. And for those that are still in the UK, let us know your thoughts in the comment section. How are you surviving it? What would you advise anybody that is coming in? I feel like those in the UK will be in a better place to say this. I will try to get my hands on any of the UK-based content creators that is willing to also share. We might do a Zoom together, and that would also help. If you're interested, let me know. If you want that kind of video, let me know, so we'll work something out. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm your girl, Acid Darling. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please check out my other videos, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.